rooftop down. Do you need a hand? Countryside now, Bordeaux.
Thanks up.
So 1855, we entered the official classification, and just a couple years after, new owners at the chateau for 1 century, the Johnston family. And the Johnston family were very famous for 2 facts. Firstly, they were also owners of Du Cru Beaucaillou, which is another Grand Cru classic. We're going to turn at the right. And so Du Cru Beaucaillou is actually famous for its yellow label. We have a yellow label on the bottle, and this is when we actually also had a yellow label at Dauzac, because they wanted the both chateaux to have their yellow label. And also a very important discovery, the Johnston discovered, Ernest David, who was the manager of the property during the Johnstons, he discovered the Bordeaux mixture. And so the Bordeaux mixture, if you know a little bit agriculture or viticulture, it's a combination of lime and copper that treats certain diseases such as mildew.
Yeah.
So up here we are actually standing in front of our vineyard, standing in one piece. We have a view, and as you can see, the particularity is that our vineyard, it really stands in one piece. You have plots that are all together and not dispersed in various places. And so, as you can see, we have a duality of grape varieties. We have Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot. So we have about 70% of Cabernet Sauvignon today and 30% of Merlot planted. And we have in total 49 hectares of vines. So in total, we produce 4 different wines. You have the
So just by this distance, it changes the...
Exactly.
Yeah.
We are really at the limit of the we are at the borderline of the Margaux appellation. So it passes here by the road, and it passes also at the back. So it's very particular. We have 4 hectares in total, which is not much. We produce 4 wines. So we have the first wine is the Chateau Dauzac, the Grand Cru Classé, that is in Margaux. And we produce 2 other Margaux wines, the Aurore and the La Bastide, which are the second and the third wines that have different differences because of the age of the vines, etc. I will explain that to you later. And the 4th wine is actually made out of these 4 hectares. So today we use generally organic treatments when it's important to treat, but in prevention we use only natural alternatives like plant decoctions.
Yep.
So plant decoctions we make ourselves, and we generally have the fields over there. That's where we grow our own plants. So like blackcurrant, mustard. You can have chamomile, and we really wanted to recreate this biodiversity around the vineyard in order to because the biodiversity, insects, birds, etc. is also very good for the vineyard. When you stop treating, these new insects actually chase the bad ones, etc. So it's a real ecosystem that we have around at Dauzac. And as you can see, we have a statue of a bee. That's because right behind the bush we actually have beehives. You'll see them when we'll go up over there. And of course we use less chemicals, so the soils are generally in a better condition, I would say, than the neighbors, because we have less polluting products and chemicals in our soils. Be careful of the...
Don't fall over.
No one has ever fallen into the pond.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Nice in here. Nice and cool. Yeah.
It's the newest one.
Are these all working?
No, it's not working anymore. It only is
when it's harvest time.
generally used until December, January, and now they're empty. Some of them will have wine in them, and I will explain you why. But these are not working yet. But we clean them every month. We have constantly to clean everything in order for no bacteria to develop. So it smells this. You actually have wine in different, some of these vats. That's because the 2017 is, for Aurore, for example, is starting its aging for a couple of months in these bigger vats before being transferred into the barrels.
That's for flavour?
For flavor, because generally when you put the wine in barrels, you have more wood, you have more contact with wood, so more wooden flavors. And for the Aurore, we want a combination of wine that has aged in bigger vats with less oaky flavors, and a combination also of wine that has started aging in barrels with more oaky. You generally, after the fermentation, leave the wine, because now it's wine, with the solid cap inside the vats for about 3 weeks. So it's called the maceration phase, and we generally leave the wine for the final extraction of all the tannins, the aromas, etc. But also for another fermentation to launch, to occur, which is the malolactic fermentation. We have an example of the terroir I was talking to you about. So the gravels and the sandy clay soils. And the oldest bottle, 1928 also.
1928? Or is that one over there?
In front of you with a label. And also a curiosity is the 1967 white wine, because it's also Dauzac wine, which proves you that in history already tested, made experiments with other grape varieties. Now we're gonna taste some.
I'm not spitting it out when I'm drinking it.
So, Aurore de Dauzac is the first one I'm going to serve you, and it's in 2014. So So you have, it's the wine that is produced with the younger vines, vinified in stainless steel vats and aged for 12 months. So this is our second wine because it's generally on more fresh fruits, fresh red berries, aromas, and you have a bigger intensity, generally more tannins and acidity on this wine. But it's a 2014, so you'll feel the impression that it has lots of intensity, tannins, acidity. That's because it's a bit young.
That's nice.
And so the Chateau Dauzac this time. So it's made out of the older vines, like we saw, and it's made also in the wooden. It's generally vinified in the wooden vats with an aging of 16 months in the old barrels.
Oh, woody one. It's nice.
What did you buy?
Vino,
Yeah.
2014, vintage.
It's not vintage. Yeah. Did you enjoy the tour?
Yeah, it was good. Lady was nice. Knew what you're talking about. It was good.
Yeah. This guy is super cool. They've got loads of space for luggage, for your wine. And if you guys ever thinking about renting one of these, there is a website
My hand luggage.
where you can book it. We highly recommend it. We had a problem with a sat nav at the beginning, but we sorted it out. It's very easy. Right, let's go. Next destination, number 7.
So wait, before you want me now to take you home. My motel room ain't got no floors, but it's right in the city, and I know